Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Accreditation Audit Committee for December 13th, 2023. I appreciate everybody being present and able to come and look at these programs and do all the great things we do. My name is Melissa Diebel, and I am the person in the Office of Educator Licensure and Effectiveness that looks over accreditations and assists with program review. And I have with me today a couple of team members, Todd Davis, who is our division director. You'll be hearing from him shortly. Dr. Byron Darnell, who is our associate commissioner over this office, and Kimberly Arrington, who is our program review aficionado. I added the aficionado to her title. So Faye, we'll start with you, and we'll let the team the committee introduce themselves, and then I'll let you take over.
All right, great, thank you. So I'm just going to start and go alphabetically, if that's okay with everybody. And I would like for you to just state who you are and also what you represent in terms of which faction or group you are serving for. And I'm going to start with Danny.
I'm Danny Bradley. I am the lay member on this committee.
Thank you, Danny. And then Jenny.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Bay Williams, and I am a professor. So I think my role then is I'm the Associate Dean for Accreditation at the University of Louisville. So I'm serving in that capacity as a partner, as a Kentucky institution. Faye, what's the right answer there?
Yeah, you're the public. I think you're the public representation for.
Okay, I'm the public representation.
Yeah. Okay, and if I'm wrong, Melissa will correct me, I'm sure. And I'm Faye Dieters. I am the chair of teacher education at Midway University and also chair of this committee, and I am representing the educator preparation programs for privates. Susan, is she here? There's so many people. I don't see you. I don't think she's here. Okay, is Leanne here?
Hey, I'm Leanne Pickrell. I'm a principal of an elementary school here in Kentucky.
Thank you. And Veronica?
Hi, I'm a 6th grade ELA teacher in Christian County at Pembroke Elementary School, and I represent the public school factors.
Thank you. And Tiffany?
Good afternoon. I'm Tiffany Wheeler. I'm the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs at Transylvania University and former Program Director of Education there, still education professor. And I'm representing the educator preparation programs for private.
Thank you. I think I got everyone. Did I miss anybody?
Faye, we have Kevin Daly. He's new to the committee. I'm sorry. Maybe I didn't have him on the vote sheet.
No,
I'm
you
nervous
do.
now.
I just missed him. Thank you. Kevin, so sorry.
Hey, y'all. I'm Kevin Daly. I am the 2024 Teacher of the Year, and I teach at Valley Shannon Middle School. So I'm an 8th grade social studies teacher. So I guess I represent public teachers.
Well, congratulations. Awesome. Okay, I guess we'll go ahead and did everyone have a chance to look at the minutes? Okay, we'll need a motion to approve the minutes, and then I will need a second.
So moved.
Thank you. I think that was Danny.
Second, Tiffany.
Thank you, Tiffany. Did anybody have any discussion about the minutes? Any corrections or anything that you saw? I didn't either. Looked good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and call for the vote. If you would, we don't have to go person by person, do we, Melissa? Thank you.
Not for this one.
Just making sure. If you would just unmute yourself, all those in favor, unmute yourself and say aye, please.
Aye.
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 Do we have any opposed or any abstentions? All right, great. The minutes are approved. And at this point, I'm going to ask Todd, before we take a look at the program review items on our agenda, I'm going to go ahead and ask Todd to share with us about the new process.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you for your contribution to this committee. It's I know it's not the best time of year. I don't think it ever is. And so in the summer months, it's interrupting summer work and summer vacations. But greatly appreciate your time and efforts here, as it's an important part of our processes. So had a few questions around the program review portion of the AAC and how things will function with the newer version of the continued program review process. So essentially it's going to work the same overall, but it's going to look a little different in how you get there. So in the past, with the old process, you received a list of programs that met the requirement. And so now in your folder, there are programs that are listed in a spreadsheet along with the statement that it's approved, but then also or the category that it's approved, as well as a letter from the program, from OELE, based off the program review committee. So that is taking the place of that old single list at this point. As we move into some new practices and expansion of our KEC system, there will be some additional pieces to this to simplify it, I think, hopefully anyway. And so it may change a little bit, but overall you're conducting the same process. The other thing to keep in mind with this is that I know there was language in the reg around individual programs, and that's the same process that you did previously. What you're doing is you're approving each of those programs as a whole. And so, based off the program review committee and their recommendation. So that process hasn't changed. That language has always been there, but I think it came out just because a change in practice with the continued process. Last thing I'll say is this is we're still in a pilot. So these are our first institutions that have gone through AQEP for accreditation, but then they're also the first to go through the continued program review process. And so we're strengthening it each iteration. The last one we did last week was even stronger than what we've had in the past, and still coming up with ways we can strengthen in the future. And so part of your role today is thinking about what you're doing in your role. Are there things that we need to do or to strengthen either for that process or for providing you information on what you need? Or is there a different way we could do it that simplifies it? So I'm all about simplifying and getting it to the best case scenario for you and the most usable information. And so anything we can do in that light, we want feedback on that. So if there are questions, feel free to ask, but I tried to sum that up as quickly as possible.
Yes, that was really fast, Todd.
A lot faster than our discussion today, wasn't it?
A little bit. So does anyone have any questions that they would like to ask now about this process? I'll look for hands, or you can just unmute yourself, either one. No? Okay, looks like everybody's happy. So good job, Todd. Melissa, do I need to go in any particular order with the program review documents? Are we starting with Thomas More?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. All right. So hopefully everyone has reviewed the program documents for initial and advanced certification programs for Thomas More. And so the AAC makes the following recommendation on a program by program basis in terms of continuing program approval for Thomas More's initial and advanced programs. Our options to vote are approval with conditions, and if that is selected, we will specify what those conditions are, and then denial of approval. And so while I am calling the roll for that, I will be checking everybody off. So I'll mute myself a little bit, and hopefully it'll go smoothly. Is the committee good? Are you ready to vote? Okay,
so
perfect.
So once again, we're approving based on the reviews of the state and AQEP. So we're just kind of layering in with their recommendations.
Right,
based on
and
what
we
Todd said that we're looking at them that holistically. This is a representation of all their programs. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, and this is very similar to what we did in the past. Some of you I know have been with us for a while and some of you are new. But in the past, our form that we got just looked a little bit different, but we had the list of programs very similar to what we have in here now, and their approval status based on the program review committee's work. They dig deeply into all of that. So that process is pretty similar to what we did before. But we are, and I just wanted to clarify, we are making a recommendation. We are not actually approving anything. The Education Professional Standards Board will do that. But so we will make our recommendation to them for which of those options that I mentioned. Okay, so we're ready to vote, and I'm going to call the roll, and I promise I won't miss you this time, Kevin. I'm going to start with Danny.
Approval. And can I also just note that I'm really excited we have some more acronyms to add. That's always a fun thing. I appreciate that. That brings an added challenge. I wouldn't want to get stale or bored with last year's acronyms.
Good point. Thank you, Danny. Jennifer.
Approval.
Thank you. Kevin.
Approval.
Thank you. I also vote for approval, and I think Susan is not here, correct? Making sure I'm not leaving anybody out. Leanne.
Approval.
Thank you. Veronica.
Approval.
Okay, thank you. And Tiffany.
Approval.
Great. So our recommendation will be to approve the initial and advanced programs at Thomas More University. Thank you all. And we will move on to the University of Kentucky's programs. The Program Review Committee has reviewed the program review documents for the initial and advanced certification programs from this institution, and we will make the following recommendation on a program by program basis. Again, our options are approval with conditions, and we would have to specify those, and denial of approval. Is everyone ready to vote? Awesome. Okay, I'm going to start again with Danny.
On the University of Kentucky, I'm going to recuse myself from this vote because my husband's employed by the university and to avoid any perception of a conflict.
Thank you, Danny. Jennifer.
Approval.
Thank you. Kevin.
Approval.
Thank you. I also am going to vote for approval. Leanne.
Approval.
Thank you. Veronica.
Approval.
Thank you. And Tiffany.
Approval.
Thank you. So we are recommending approval for both the initial and advanced programs at the University of Kentucky. Okay, I think, do we have anything else we need to discuss before we talk about a June date, Melissa?
We do not. So
okay.
In June, just to give you guys an idea of time, we will have 2 program approvals like you just did. We have a revisit where you will be looking at the findings of Alice Lloyd College and determining just their standard 5. And then we also will have a state-only accreditation. So we will be going through their full accreditation materials and such. And you'll have that in the folder earlier than you had just the program approvals. So for Brescia University. So we do have a little bit larger agenda in June. So
for sure. Are we shooting for any specific part of June?
I'm going to pull up my calendar here. So the last few times we've scheduled it like on June 15th, but the 15th is a Saturday, so we won't do that. Is there any, I mean, I'm open in June, so I don't know if anybody has anything that they know of that could prevent you from being present.
Well, I'm definitely going on vacation, but it isn't scheduled yet, so I'll schedule around. I don't know about others if they have things scheduled already.
I'm open the 3rd through the 7th, any day that week.
I don't think I will know until I'm closer, just based on Teacher of the Year commitments. They that'll be kind of a game time decision for me throughout the summer. So
I am sure I'm pretty booked in June, but again, if you say early when it is, I'll try to figure out. Like the 14th is open, the day before the 15th, that usual meeting time.
And I could
calendar is.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Does
sorry.
the 14th work for other members at 9 a.m. Eastern?
I
Yes,
can't do
like
9
that
a.m.
person.
I could do 1 a.m. or 1 p.m.
We are
I'm
not
also
doing 1
free at 1
a.m.
a.m.
I don't have any small babies at home, so I will not be
Yeah.
getting up at 1 a.m. Does 1 p.m. work for the committee?
Yeah,
On the
that would work.
What's the date again?
June 14th, 1 p.m. Eastern, virtually.
I believe so, but I'm an elementary principal and we have 2 days till school's out. So my mind may not be clear at this point.
We will understand.
Lucky. We still have 5.
I will book it for 2 hours just because of the amount of, or the number of items. Program reviews, we just thought will not take much time. But we do have the revisit to look at and then another full accreditation. So those might take a little longer. So if it's okay with everybody, we'll set our next meeting for June 14th at 1 p.m. Eastern. And I will send that out probably right now to go on your calendar and hold the date. Otherwise, is there anything else that anybody has for the good of the group?
I would just add one thing about these program reviews, and for the rest of you to be aware, University of Louisville went through the process with UK, the state level review, and then we did CAPE and UK did AQUEP. So we're on our timeline's longer before you'll see our materials. But with that in mind, I noticed in each of their folders that meeting of the regulation page, which I think is this missing piece for me through what we've been through so far that I feel like we're accountable to make sure we've met the state regs. I noticed that Transylvania had some more like list of the things that they did to meet them. I'm still not sure how that fits with meeting every single program, I'm not convinced. I'm not sure the documentation speaks to every single program. I like Todd's explanation that we're looking at holistically, but that makes me feel better seeing that regulation page, I would say. That might have been one of the new layers you've implemented, and it could be that I owe you that piece of
we did add that, and
but
you all will be getting
was comforting to find that that paper in there, the regulation piece, because I feel like that's one thing that we want to keep an eye on.
So, to speak to that, so yeah, it was kind of a last minute thing, and I like the idea of it. But digging through specifically Thomas Moore's this time and having a conversation with them prior to, the majority of those are actually identified and can be verified through the KEC system now. So they're covered. So cooperating teacher, we actually determine whether someone is permitted to move forward, right? So we know that you're meeting that regulation. But then we also have the admission exit. When you fill out the admission exit, there are caveats within that system that you have to show where they're meeting those requirements. But then as KECS comes in, I think we'll be able to eliminate that step as it's developed, because we can create a landing page that shows this is what your current practice is EPP wide, right? We know that's EPP wide. So, but then build on that. And so then you only update that as you need to, kind of like the idea of keepers was in the first place, but then it really is a living document that updates as you need to, but then it's there for one time only entry until it does need to be revised. So I think we'll get to a better place, but that it is a simple step to verify, one, that you are doing exactly what you say you're doing through the program review process. Yeah, so it's just an additional piece.
Yeah.
And Jenny, we'll touch base with you with U of L and Murray, because you guys were part of that very first one, and we've learned things since then. So that will be coming your guys' way. So, anything else for the good of the order?
Okay,
All
do you need
right,
a
well-
motion to adjourn?
I guess so. So is that your motion, Danny?
I'll second.
Awesome. Thank you. All in favor? Yes.
Aye.
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 Happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you all. Have a
Better,
great break.
Melissa.